Well, hello again. We are already back home for quite some months, but we realized we never made a video for you how our car really works and how we adjusted it. So that's what we will do today. And we begin with the tires of the car, as they were really important for us. We changed to all-terrain tires, as we did some off-roading, so this way we would have grip. And we were really happy with them because we didn't have any flat tires in the whole trip. Then as well we adjusted the rims. They are from steel, so if they would break we could easily fix them. And they are a lot smaller so that the cheek of the tire is bigger. Then we have other springs. They are needed as we are quite heavy loaded, and this way we don't sink in too much. So that's on the tire base. Then looking at the front of the car, we added this hook. We didn't really need it, it just looks nice. And we couldn't tow on this as the car is just way too heavy and that would come out. And we added this, some extra protection to prevent rocks from going inside and damage the car. So it looks a bit cheap, but it really affected in a good way.
On our expedition car we have multiple solar panels which provided energy for all kind of stuff like our fridge, but also to charge our laptops and mobile phones and the compressor and the water pump. In total we had 500 watt peak of solar panels, so it was spread out over the hood, the rooftop tent and rooftop box. And it's just charging the 12-volt battery inside the car. It's a separate system from the car itself. And then it charged the EcoFlow batteries we have also in the car, more on that later. 95% of the time we slept in our rooftop tent. Which is still in a good shape, even though we used it quite a lot. And from the inside of the tent we could enter our wardrobe. So this box was filled with our clothes and with food and all kind of stuff we needed to store. And the fun part, we put all kind of stickers, so flags of the countries we drove to. We started in the Netherlands and then Belgium and then all the way to Cape Town, back to Europe and back to the Netherlands. Inside our rooftop tent there's a map of the world and we drawn in the route, and we did it like on a live basis so we could see where we were in the countries in Africa. Because when you travel for so long you sometimes lost a little bit where you are, and in this way before we fell asleep we could see where we were.
So then we go to the inside of the car. And here we begin with the water system we had. So what we did is we always filtered our own water, as there's not always drinking water everywhere in Africa. So this was the water pump, and we could put it in a well, in a river or in a lake. And the water could go in here in a water tank of 50 liters with a meter, so then we could see how much we had left. It's officially for fuel, but doesn't matter. So 50-liter water tank, and we would filter it with 2 filters to make sure it was clean. And then we had another filter we used once again to make sure it was drinkable and all bacteria was out of it. Then we had here as well our chairs. So it's a really small package, and we didn't have a lot of space, so for us that was very important. We could fold them out, and as we had only the seats in the car and these, we decided to choose the good ones. as you need energy for an expedition like this. Hoopla. So these were the chairs, and then we had as well a table here. Also a very efficient package, not big. And this one also survived the whole trip, so very happy with that. So that was the table, and then we had inside the box, inside the car, we also had 6 boxes, each box with their own things. So this is for cooking, we had one for food, for hobby, for tools to fix stuff, and just storage. So as of course we didn't want to burn anything, also not for cooking, that's why we brought our own induction stove with us. That's this one, and of course it's made of glass, so we wanted to make sure it would stay as is. So we protected it with some foam in the box, and it fits perfectly, so we measured it out and it survived as well the whole trip. So then to cook, all we needed was some electricity, and for this we go to the other side of the car. Here we have the battery. As Maarten said, we had the solar panels on the car. They go to the 12-volt battery and then into this EcoFlow. It's a 2 kWh battery, and we used it for all electronics we needed. So that's the electricity. Then here we had also the water tap, so the water goes in on the other side and out here. And this was our shower, but also for cooking everything with water. Then this was a fridge. It's a 45-liter fridge, which sounds like a lot, but yeah, as we didn't see a lot of supermarkets along the way, we really needed it. And then last but not least, it's hidden behind. We had a very nice air compressor, and we needed this to inflate the mattress in the tent, as we slept there very often, so we needed a good night. And of course for the tires to inflate them again.
We needed a lot of stuff for our trip in Africa, and therefore we used all the space we could find. And I want to show you a space where we put a lot of stuff, and that is underneath the hood. There's a big advantage for electric cars. There's no high temperatures, no high pressures or a lot of oil underneath the hood. So we stored a lot of things here. And the first thing is the sand tracks. We put them underneath the tires when we got stuck. And that really helped us to get out in some situations. And we had also a charger for AC charging, for just on the grid. And this is just a Type 2 one that we plug into our car. And on the other side we have just a normal European plug, but we had different adapters, so we could use all kind of different ones. So even the UK one, we didn't use it of course because we weren't in the UK, but we also had our own cables with us, so we could connect the cables directly on the wall outlet, or like we removed the wall outlet and connected straight on the wires, and then we had our own plug. In this case we didn't melt the wall outlet, so that was a good thing for charging, as we required quite some energy for long periods of time. And we had an extension cable in case we needed. We were quite far from a wall outlet, and we had a 20-meter extension cable. But of course we also needed to charge our car in places where there wasn't electricity, and therefore we had our own solar panels with us, which I want to show you now. So in the back of our car we had in total 60 solar panels, and one solar panel was 1 square meter. So we had 10 drawers, and every drawer contains 6 solar panels. And together we just took them out of the car, put them in a field, and then unfold them. And then after unfolding them, we connected them in 2 strings of 30 panels. And then with those wires, we connected the panels to the charger. It's currently not in the car. It's at the manufacturer checking if the dust didn't influence the charger too much. So on one side, solar in, DC, and on the other side, DC CCS out. So just a way of fast charging. And in this way, yeah, it stayed DC. So we didn't have a lot of losses going from DC AC to DC again, which is yeah, what really worked well in Africa, when because of high temperatures, normally the losses go into building up heat in chargers, and we didn't have that issue. So even with the highest temperature, the charger keep on going. So that's the 60 solar panels, and even after more than 80 times putting them out and in the car again, it's still sliding very well. We have the spare tire. As Renske told before, we didn't have any puncture, but we rotated the tires every now and then that they wear off evenly. And here we have the air compressor is a little bit hidden. And underneath the solar panels, we also had a lot of space to put stuff like food or like a long-term storage. So when the solar panels were out, we could reach this space as well. And last but not least, on this side, we have the tow bar. You can fold it in, but we kept it out to protect the bumper of the car. And now the last space of our expedition car.
The inside.
A place where we were sitting together for more than 1,200 hours the past year.
Yes, we have had a lot of experiences, and yeah, we look back on a very nice adventure together.
The car handled very well. We were quite surprised on which locations and which areas we have entered, and how well the car performed in the most remote areas, and even though it was not built for the really bad roads we drove on.
Nothing really broke, so it just stayed as is and worked, so that's quite amazing. So if you are curious and want to see this car for real, then it will be from now on in the Škoda Museum in Czech Republic, in Mladá Boleslav. So if you're close and you would like to see it, you're more than welcome to have a look. We won't be there, of course, as we have our lives in the Netherlands, but yeah, you can have a look on the house we had for a year through Africa.
Thank you for watching our videos, and maybe see you somewhere sometime in some places.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.